This is a song about trust. I heard a really interesting metaphor today that I'm pretty sure is a metaphor and not an analogy. If I'm wrong, correct me. But it was that as babies, we are spoon fed baby food and our parents' ideas. Substitute guardians, grandmas, whoever might have been responsible for raising you up. They offered you the best food that they had available and the best beliefs that they had collected up to that point. And because you're a baby, you don't know, you can't select a sweet potato instead of sweet tea. You're offered something and you assimilate it because it's offered to you. With unconditional trust, you accept what's given to you as a baby. But there comes a time when you become responsible for your own decisions. My parents have been far from infallible, but I do believe they did their best. When I was a kid, I was offered two parallel religions. My mother was a Southern Baptist, fundamentalist Christian, and my dad, to this day, is an atheist. As a kid, I wasn't really given much of a choice, and I didn't need a choice. My mother's religion made sense to me, and she was louder about it, and she had somewhere to take us, and there was a vibrant community and all this music, so she won. I was an evangelical, Bible reading, proselytizing young person. And I appreciate a lot about that upbringing. I was taught to believe in God. Maybe you were taught to believe in God as well. Or maybe you were taught to believe in yourself or not to trust the government. Whatever it was, you were offered some system of beliefs that for a while you accepted as true. I listened to a teacher who says that no matter what, we are always trusting in something. We are always believing in something. It can be that we appear to doubt, but what that really is us trusting in the opposite of what we want, what we prefer to believe in. So we have the power and the capacity to choose where we place our faith. So this song, Lead the Way, was born during the lockdown. And 2020 was, simply put, a year that just kept giving, kept flinging. You know what monkeys fling it, uh, kept flinging, let's say, at the fan. And I reached a point in that year and during that experience when I realized I did not have the answers that I sought, at least not readily available, not consciously, and that I needed to rely on something beyond my own knowledge, because I hadn't amassed any knowledge of how to survive emotionally and physically during a global pandemic. I hadn't gathered any information on how to survive emotionally, physically, and provide well-being for my kids in the nature of trauma that we experienced through that year. So I had to make it up. So what I discovered to be most helpful for me was to trust in love. And so what that meant is that I needed to define love. So I knew what it was that I'm putting my trust in, my faith in. For me, love is that connective tissue, the fabric that unites all of creation, everything that is. That's love. And when we place that on an individual, an animal, a food, a place, an experience, we're dipping into the well of love, that knowledge and reveling in the fact that we are connected. And so that's what I decided to trust to get me through the confusion and the mayhem. That's what I continue to trust to get me through the sometimes daily offers of confusion and mayhem. When I know that there is a structure, there is a unified energy that we all belong to, that all things are part of. And I trust that connection more than I trust the power, the temporary power of the difficulty, the confusion, the strife, the whatever the situation might be, then I know which direction to point, in which direction I choose to be guided. So I have two questions for you. First of all, what is your definition of love? And secondly, where are you placing your trust? Chances are, since you're a human being, it's sometimes this way and sometimes that way and sometimes but how often do you take inventory of whether you're placing your trust in love or peace or something that brings you a sense of joy and well-being? How often are you placing your trust in stories and parts of reality that bring you strife and make you feel helpless? So as you're listening to this song on the album, I invite you to treat it as a call and response. And if you're performing it or sharing it with your choir, maybe you can invite the audience as well to respond to your call. Like this. I'm going to sing the call. That one's going to sing the response. Love, would you guide my feet? Love, would you light my path? Love, lead the way. Love, would you fill my needs? Love, would you do the math? Love, lead the way. 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 And I will walk. And I will walk. With trust today, with trust today, in all I do, in all I do, in all I say, in all I say, I will follow, I will follow, love lead the way. Lead the way, lead the way, and I will walk with trust today.